Hey there, welcome back. This is a JavaScript video series about the JavaScript execution context and the this keyword, and we're learning for past 3 videos about a quick introduction of JavaScript execution context and the ways we can invoke a function, and also the ways where you can create a function, and we've seen different locations where we can put the functions and then how it affects the JavaScript execution context. And we've seen that the location doesn't matter for normal functions. In this video, what we're looking at is we're going to fix a problem that we saw in the previous video. It's not a problem, it's a situation here where we have a function within a method. So here you can see the object is having the foo method, and it's a function declared within this, and then we have the bar method declared within that, and then this context within the bar method is not pointing to the object, right? So how can we fix this issue? We want to really be able to use this context of the object. We want to print this dot name, and it should be printing Naga, right? And when we do this, it doesn't print anything, as you can see here, right? Let me change this to my name is plus. Right? So you can see my name is nothing. So how do we fix this problem? There are 3 ways. Is it 3 ways? Yes. Okay, 2 ways that we can fix, right? This problem. 3rd way we'll see in the next video, which is interesting. It's going to be using the arrow functions. It's going to be a roller coaster for arrow functions. Believe me, right? But one step at a time. We'll look at how scope can be used. So if you don't know what scope is, what this does, scope generally refers to what are all the stuff that a function can access within its block, right? Function block at the time of execution. That's the scope, right? So what it can access the execution context that we are looking at. Of course, it's going to differ based on how you're executing it, but you're still going to have a reference to this context, and it's going to point to something, right, based on it. But the other stuff that a function can access is its own variables within its block, and also the variables declared outside of the block in its parent function, and its parent function, and that the parent function of that, and the parent function of that, all the way up to the global object. It can access the global object as well, right? So to fix this problem within this bar function, what we're doing is we're simply taking a reference of this context in the method, like this on line number 4. A very classical way to do this. This variable name can be self or that or whatever it is. Self and that I think are the most common variable names for this kind of thing. And then we simply reference that self variable instead of this when we are using it within the function. So wherever you execute the function, self will always point to the execution context within that function because of the closure situation, right? We'll talk about closures in another video if possible. So now because the self variable is within the scope of that function, it is bound. It is available for that function thanks to closures, and it is equal to the object because this object also is a variable available to this function. So both are in scope. The self variable and the obj variable both are in scope, and they're equal. They're equal because of the way we are executing this function, the foo method, right? They're equal only because we're executing this foo method in the object method invocation. Right, we have seen that in one of the previous videos. If you have not watched them, go back and watch them. I will leave the links to those videos and this tutorial series and everything in the description, and also a card will be popping up somewhere where you can see the stuff. And so yeah, this solves the problem now, right? So if I execute, both this execution will print on line number 8 it's always true because it is part of this syntax is part of the method. And then this also will be true. This is the second one. Because we are executing the bar function, which is returning out of it, and this bar function is comparing the self variable and not the this variable. Okay, hope that makes sense. The other way we can fix that issue is explicitly binding the bar function. We've seen explicit binding in the previous video. If I copy this over, so bar func is the one that is returned. It doesn't have any context attached to it. It doesn't have the obj object attached as its binding. So we're doing exactly that here. We've seen how this works, and then this bar func bound is actually the bar function declared here on line number 4, bound to the obj function. Now if you run that function, it is going to return true. This statement will be true because that's what we're binding to. So this is the second way to do it. So I hope this is clear. These are the couple of ways we can fix this age-old problem of having functions declared within a context, within another method, and even when we execute that method, that inner function doesn't have the reference to that object. So in the next one we are going to talk about arrow functions, and they will make it very easy for fixing this problem. That's the third way of fixing this particular problem. But at the same time, if you don't understand the unique difference between arrow functions and normal functions with regards to two things, one is the invocation and one is the location of the function, of the arrow function, it's again going to confuse you. So I hope to see you in the next one, but please pay close attention to that one, because whatever we have learned in these 4 videos is going to get challenged. Your knowledge is going to get challenged when we get introduced to the arrow functions and how they work. So you got to keep in mind how they work and how the normal functions work distinctively, and you should be able to understand the difference. So hope to see you in the next one, and thanks for watching.